Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm really excited to do because I believe this is a first for me. I'm going to be doing a 3 looks with 1 palette, and it's also going to be a throwback Thursday. So I'm using an older palette. I did a poll over on my Instagram stories between the Dose of Colors Marvelous Mauves, the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette, and your winner, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam. This one by about 71%, I believe it was. So the majority vote was for the Soft Glam. So I have 3 different looks that I'm going to be showing. This, of course, is one of them. I'm really excited to do this video. I hope that you'll let me know if you want to see more 3 looks with 1 palettes, if you want to see more of the throwback videos, if you have any suggestions for me. I hope that you will leave them in the comments. But if you're ready to see 3 looks using the Soft Glam palette, why don't we go ahead and get started. So starting off with the first look, I want to do something a little bit more on the simple side, something on the like quick, easy side. I'm filming this on Saturday. I'm planning to just go to my friend's house later and hang out. So I have my no foundation routine on right now. I did just do a video on like my 10-minute quick and easy look. So I'll have that link down below in case you're curious and want to check it out. But I'm going to try to do something a little bit more than that 10-minute video since, you know, I want to make the look interesting, but also, you know, pretty fast and easy at the same time. So jumping into the palette, I'm first going to pick up the shade Tempera, and I'm just using a Moda Metallics Super Crease brush. I do have my concealer already down as my eye primer, and I'm just going to place that all over my lid. I'm going to pick up Burnt Orange, and I'm coming in with the Bdellium Tools 785, and I'm going to blend this into the crease, and I'm going to start just a little bit higher than the crease with that color, and then start to really blend it out as that first transition. And then I'm going to build it up just a little bit, and also really hit the outer corner of my eye with this shade. Pick up a Rustic from the palette, so a bit of a deeper brown here, and the Sigma E25. I'm just going to pick up some of that on the brush and then really tap the outer part of my eye and really deposit the most amount of that shadow here on the outer part. And then I'm slowly going to start to blend it in about halfway onto the lid and really blending it with that burnt orange shade, but just making this outer part a little bit deeper. And of course, with the Anastasia shadows, a little bit goes a long way. I suggest to tap very lightly into your palette and you're going to get a lot of product. Typically, I also recommend to do your eyes first when using Anastasia palettes before you do your face, but it's a little bit different just with the style of video, of course. But that is also something that I recommend. I'm grabbing just like a touch more on my brush, really tapping it off, and then slowly building that deeper shade up. I come into bronze, this really beautiful bronzy shimmer here. I am using a Morphe G20, just any sort of like flat shader brush, and I did go ahead and spray it as well, so it is damp, and I feel like this just really brings out the color. It makes it really beautiful. Again, with having my face already done, it can also help with a fallout. And I'm just going to, like, that shade is so gorgeous. I'm just going to apply this on the inner part of my eye, taking it about halfway here, a little bit more than halfway, I'd say, and just packing that on. Such a gorgeous color, one of my favorites from the palette. Grab a little bit more in the palette and just pack it on. And then once I get kind of more towards this outer part, I just kind of tap over, and then I will also come in with that Sigma E25 to make sure it looks blended. But I'm really focusing this on the inner and middle part of my eyelid. And I didn't do a cut crease, and again, this shade in this palette is just so easy to work with. Sometimes I like to put down a concealer and do a cut crease because it also can help bring out the color a little bit more, but with this one, I just don't think that you need that. Once I have that shade how I want it, I'm just using the Sigma E25. I didn't do any additional product. I'm just gonna kind of tap over these edges here, and then make sure everything looks nice and blended. I'm using the Pure On Point liner, and this is in the shade Hotline, and I'm just going to go ahead and add this to my waterline. Lower lash line, I'm just going to mix a combination of Burnt Orange and Rustic, the 2 shades I used on the lid. I'm using the Morphe M507, which is just a pencil brush. Just kind of dipping back and forth into both of those. Then I'm going to run that on the lower lash line. Inner corner, I'm going to pick up the shade Glistening right here. This is Second Shimmer. I'm going to use the Morphe E36, and I'm going to add that right into the inner corner. Really make this pop here. Also going to add just a little bit to the brow bone arch, just to give that a little shimmer as well. Kind of tie everything together here. I'm just going to finish it off with a little bit of the Nars Climax mascara, my top and bottom lashes. Is it for the eye look. So to me, that's kind of my quick and easy, just my go-to makeup look, eye look that I do with a lot of different palettes in here. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing it. I really like the way that this look turned out. I love this bronzy shimmer so much. I'm just going to finish it off with a little bit of a lip color. I'm going to use from Marc Jacobs. This is in Slow Burn, one of the La Marque lip cremes. This is it for look number 1 using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. I really enjoyed this look. I think that it's really beautiful, yet it's simple and, you know, more neutral at the same time. So I think it can be good for a lot of different occasions, and I love the way that this lip color looks with this look. So this is look number 1. Why don't we jump into the second look? Alrighty, so jumping into the second look, I really wanted to do some sort of halo eye or spotlight eye because they're one of my go-tos, and I thought it would be fun to do something working with all shimmers because I believe my third look is going to be an all matte look. So I thought we could play in with some of these shimmers and do something just really fun, purple, pinky, that I like to go for quite a bit. So jumping into the palette, I'm first going to pick up the shade Sultry right here, and I'm going to use a Stilazzi L218. It's the large pointed crease brush. I am also going to make sure this brush is damp. Like I said, the Anastasia formula is super soft. You do get a lot of fallout. I always recommend doing your eyes first. For the video, this video, you know, things are a little bit different, but I definitely also recommend spraying your brush because that can help with decreasing a bit of fallout. And I'm just kind of tapping, here we go, I'm just kind of tapping my brush in here because it's so easy to pick up a lot of product, and then really making sure to tap it off. And then I'm going to place this shade on the outer part of my eye. And again, just using kind of tapping motions to place this down. And then I'm also going to take that same shade and put it right in the inner part of my eye. I'm just going to take a little brush here and wipe away the fallout. Grab a small flat shader. This is the Sigma E36, which looks like this. I do also have this one damp, and I'm going to pick up the shade Rose Pink in the palette, which is a really beautiful pinky shimmer, and I'm going to place that shade right in the middle of the eye, like so. I'm going to take it all the way up to the crease as well. Again, just kind of using those tapping motions to place the shadow down and kind of tap over the inner and outer parts also to kind of make sure everything blends together. Again, a lot of times with spotlight eyes, I'll come in with a concealer to really make the inner part really stand out and pop, but I just don't think that you need to do that with the Anastasia shadows. Yes, they have a lot of fallout and they can, you know, get pretty powdery and such, but they also show up right away and you really don't have to work hard for them. This again is a really fast and simple eye look. I'll wipe away any fallout here. If you need to come back and darken up anything, you can go ahead and do that with a spotlight eye. So I'm just going to take that first shade and first brush and kind of bring back some of that deeper shade to the inner and outer parts. Eyeliner, I'm using one of the Pure On Point liners. This one is in Hotline, and I'm just going to add this to my waterline. For the lower lash line, I'm going to take a flat definer brush. This is the Morphe E43, and I am going to spray this one as well just because of the Anastasia shadows. And I'm just going to mix these two shades, Rose Pink and Sultry, on the lower lash line. I'm first going to pick up Sultry and kind of just mirror the image that we did on top. So kind of focus this one on the outer part of my eye and then also the inner part, and then hit the center with the Rose Pink. I don't feel like making this super precise, like I'm just using the same brush and everything, so it's not like a super precise thing, but that's just kind of what I go for with the spotlight eye. Inner corner, I'm actually going to grab some tempera here and just the Morphe E36 and just kind of lightly hit the inner part of my eye here. Not going too overboard. I actually didn't want something shimmery with this one because I didn't want to take too much attention away from what we have going on the eyes. And I'm also just going to lightly kind of touch the brow bone with that shade. So to complete the eye look, you can definitely do lashes. I actually am just going to do mascara today, and I'm just going to add some of the Hourglass Caution mascara to both my top and bottom lashes. For my lip color, I'm going to use a Bite Beauty Honeycomb. And this is going to finish it off with a look number 2 using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. More of a spotlight eye using some shimmers in here. Again, this one is super fast and super quick to do. So I really like this makeup look. I hope that you enjoyed how it turned out. So look number 2, why don't we go ahead and pop into the third and last look. So it's time for the third and final look using the Soft Glam palette. I'm going to do the most time-consuming look out of the 3, and it is this kind of like dramatic smoky winged liner. Now I will say I'm not the best at this technique yet. It's something that I've started to try a bit recently, so I'm not like 100% there, but I want to keep trying because I want to get better at it. So I just thought I'd show you guys how I do it. I had a look pretty similar to this in a couple of my past videos, and I got some nice comments on it, so I figured I'd go ahead and do it. So I do use some tape for this look to kind of etch out the wing. So I'm just using some regular old Scotch tape, and then I do put it on the back of my hand and take it off, and I do that a couple times. That way it's not as sticky when you're taking it off your face. Again, I definitely would recommend to do your eyes first with this, especially because we're using tape and you can clean up easier and all of that, but you know, this video is just a little bit on the different side. So you go ahead and apply the tape, and honestly I'm not the best yet at figuring out where to apply the tape, and sometimes I do them differently. So you know, I'm no makeup artist, I just enjoy it, and it's just something that I'm trying to like work on myself right now, so thought it'd be fun to share that. I'm gonna do it about right there. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so obviously coming into the Soft Glam palette, first I'm going to pick up the shade Dusty Rose right here, and I'm just going to take a blending brush. This is the Bdellium Tools 785, and I'm just going to work that into my crease, blend it to the inner part of the eye, really kind of bring it out here with the tape, because this is the only shade that I'm using on the lid except for like what we're going to use for the actual winged part. So I just be really like messy and sloppy with this and just come in and build it up as many times as I feel like I need to. Focusing on the outer part here, again making sure to come all the way out to kind of, you know, extend the wing over here. I like having the tape down because it's going to kind of catch any of that, you know, fallout, and when we work with the darker shades it's just going to help it be not quite so messy on the actual face. I would love to know if you guys are, you know, pretty good at like the smoky winged liner. Any tips that you guys might have? I've been watching so many videos to try to get better at it. Alrighty, so once I have that first shade down, I'm going to come in with Sienna in the palette, and I'm using a pencil brush. This is the Sigma E30, and then I'm going to start creating that wing. So I push it really close to the lower lash line, and then I just follow the tape all the way out to the very end. And then I'm just going to do this a bunch of times to really build up the shade. And I'm going to bring it in kind of far on the lash line, not all the way to the inner part of my eye, but pretty far there. Again, build it all the way up through that tape, through that wing. And again, you know, you can be pushing on the tape here because the tape is going to, you know, catch that. It's not going to go on your face or anything. And then out here on the outer part, I make it just a little bit thicker. I don't do anything too crazy because I think I don't have enough confidence in my skills yet to really like build it up. I'm afraid I'm gonna like screw it up. So with makeup, I tend to go like lighter, or I'm gonna use the word smaller when I'm doing looks that I'm not fully confident in. And I think as I get more confident, I'll go I'll go bigger and stronger, you know what I'm saying? But for right now, I just kind of just do it. I just go a little bit smaller, if that makes any sort of sense. And I just take my time with this part. I mean, I come in quite a bit, building up that brown shadow and creating that wing. And then I'm going to switch out and use a different pencil brush, but it's the same one. It's the Sigma E30. It's the same type of brush, but a different brush, because I'm going to come in with the black, which is Noir. And then I'm just going to do the same thing that we did with the brown, and just keep it really close to the lash line, really close on the tape, and just intensify that shadow. I'm not going to bring the black in as far on my lid that I did the brown, but I am also going to build it up on this outer part of my eye too. And again, extending it all the way through the tape. And I just put a small amount of product, since, I mean, black is black. So I just use a small amount of product and then just build it up instead of going too much too quickly. Really want to make sure I'm building up this outer part of my eye and really creating that smoky wing here. So again, just taking my time. Like I said, this is the most time consuming look out of the three that I'm doing, but I also think it's really pretty and fun and different. And I want to try to perfect it, because we're going to some concerts in March and then also late April, like rock concerts. I think it'd be really fun to do this eye look at one of them. We are seeing, who are we seeing? We're seeing Parkway Drive, Kill Switch Engage, that's in April, and then All That Remains and Escape the Fate in March, which I'm pretty excited about. I feel like it's been a while since I've been to a good concert, and those are some of my favorite bands, so I think it's going to be a pretty good time. I feel like I have it where I want it. I am going to go ahead and remove the tape, so you should have, you know, somewhat of a sharpish line going on over here, and then this is where you can kind of do any sort of perfecting that you think that you need. You know, if I hadn't already done my face, I might take a makeup wipe and clean it up and just make maybe this outer part just a little bit sharper, but I think that it actually looks pretty good. You know, again, one of the hard parts for me is making them even, but I think that they're pretty decent. Not 100%, but I feel like that looks pretty good. So that's it for now for the palette. I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeliner. I'm doing the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Perversion. Since I am doing lashes, I'm going to apply this to my waterline and then also tightline with this. The lower lash line, I'm just going to take Sienna and then also Noir and run those on the lower lash line. My inner corner, I'm just going to grab a little bit of Tempera with the Morphe E36 and hit the inner part of my eye. Since we do have an all matte look going on, I want it to stay all matte and just kind of lighten up the inner corner, and then also just slightly hit the brow bone with that shade too. I feel like this look needs lashes, so I'm going to go ahead and pop on these lashes. These are Flutter lashes in Heavenly. Alright, and then for my lip color, I just got one of the new Velvet Blur lipsticks from Colourpop, so I'm going to go ahead and use the shade. This is in CA Love. Guys, so this is the third and final look using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. I hope that you like this and seeing how I'm attempting to learn how to do the smoked out liner look. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. That's the third and final look, so that's going to wrap it up. Let me know what you thought of the 3 looks, 1 palette. I don't think I've done a video like this yet, so let me know if you want to see more in the future from me. If you want to see more of the throwback palettes, let me know any suggestions you would have for the next palette down below. But I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.